Welcome back to the Convo Couch. My name is Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Johnny Sue is on the ones and twos. Should we wait to the end, my man? We're going to wait to the end because we have a great show. Breaking news. Kim Jong-un never went to Epstein's Island.
What's the point of that?
I don't know. I just figured I'd say that. I haven't seen Kim Jong-un. I figured after they're done blaming the Russians, they might blame the North Koreans. But I haven't seen Kim Jong-un on any flight log.
It's not fun.
And Kim Jong-un is not in the black book, fam.
It's not fun to blame anybody but the Russians. The Russians are the ones everybody loves to hate on.
You heard it
And
first,
the Russians are my favorite people. I love Russians.
So do I.
I met Russians the other day, actually. They loved me. So I don't know what that tells you, but
From Russia with love, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Hey, listen, we want to thank everybody who's been tuning in and supporting us here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. We've been hard at work, all of us, and doing the best we can, and you guys have been rewarding us with a lot of love and subscriptions, fam. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, we're almost at 24K now.
We're almost at 24K. Maybe by tomorrow morning. Help us. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely share. Let's get started. Breaking surprise, fam. Your girl Kamala, she's back. Back again. What's she going on? Tell us, fam.
So to everyone's surprise, Kamala Harris literally backpedaled on everything from healthcare to caring about the climate and pretending that she wasn't going to take any corporate money, because the first thing she did was backpedal from Medicare for All, saying that she's uncomfortable with Bernie Sanders' plan. And she basically went to this fundraiser afterwards. But let's talk about what she actually said about Bernie Sanders' plan. According to, I think this is Vox, Harris and many other 2020 Democrats have spent the last few weeks trying to short-circuit Medicare for All and preserve the private insurance industry, whose premiums, deductibles, and copays are now cost $28,000 a year for the average family of four, according to David Serrata, the Sanders campaign advisor. He said the Harris flip-flop is a reminder that while Medicare for All received an enthusiastic response at Bernie's Fox News town hall in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, it doesn't get the kind of response on the big dollar fundraiser circuit in the Hamptons.
Ooh,
He's throwing shade at her because she was, like I said, at this fundraiser, and she started, putting herself in the center, like, I want to keep private insurance. And again, a lot of people were like, well, Tulsi wants... No, Tulsi supports Medicare for All. Kamala Harris's plan is a 10-year plan that if you read it, it's not Medicare for All. She not only wants to just have private insurance as an option, she wants to make it so people rely on it, period. People have to read these legislations, and I think Nico kind of sort of went through it. I have to go through it, all of them, and compare it to people because people like making these assumptions.
I have a question now.
That aren't valid. What's the question?
When she did her speech in the Hamptons, did she go, somebody better tell my staff, like she did the first time? Remember when she announced it? She's like, somebody better tell my staff I'm now supporting Medicare for All.
So weird.
And isn't it so, like, the parallels are so, it's like the same exact thing. It's Hillary Clinton talking about when she gets in front of the certain crowd, the bankers and whatnot, you can have a public opinion as well as a private one. Yeah. And here goes Kamala Harris talking to people in the Hamptons, little ritzy area, and then changing her stance and moving more towards their needs. In other words, she's going to pander to the rich all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know why she's a viable candidate in anybody's mind.
She's not. And let's be clear, Tulsi Gabbard called her out for her disingenuous support of Medicare for All during the last debates, mentioning that Senator Kamala Harris was lying to viewers when she portrayed Kathleen Sebelius as uninvolved in writing her health insurance proposal, when her campaign actually told the NBC News that wasn't the case. So Tulsi attacked Harris for her reliance on that because Sebelius is tied to Health and Human Services, the former Health and Human Services Secretary. That's who she was. And she was on the board of the company called Devoted Health, which sells Medicare Advantage plans, and she was also tied to Kaiser and Big Pharma. So she got outed, though, because this person, Vaughn Hilliard, tweeted, and I remember talking about this, that Kamala Harris said that Kathleen did not write her healthcare plan, but in actuality, he was told by the campaign aide this week that Sebelius worked on Harris's campaign staff as it was being developed. So Kamala Harris not only just did this now. I mean, this has been a reality. Her whole bill was written by somebody in the insurance industry. So let's not kid ourselves to pretend that Kamala Harris is going to work for Medicare for all.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm looking for my flip-flops. Has anybody seen my flip-flops? I mean, I can't. Maybe Kamala Harris has. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all see me looking. I'm looking for my flip-flops. I mean, it's just like Elizabeth Warren. Here we go. Flippity-flop.
Yep.
That's all I got. I mean, there's nothing more to say that we haven't already said about Kamala Harris. It's like, how many times has this network warned you right here and talked about this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This woman should not even be running. She shouldn't even be allowed. She shouldn't be a viable candidate. She has so much luggage, so much baggage, and she's so disingenuous. She's so how can you trust her? How can anybody trust her? She will not get any votes outside of the Democratic establishment party. She shouldn't even be thought about. She should go away right now.
You know why she is she's getting all the endorsements in California from politicians? Because she has a huge pull in Hollywood. Her husband is a producer or an executive, I believe, in the industry. And she held a big fundraiser with Spike Lee and Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is a very, very lavish area in Massachusetts.
I'm sorry.
And
why gotta be Spike Lee?
I know. Spike Lee.
I'm from New York, Spike.
Voted and endorsed Bernie last time around in 2016. But I guess he got pressure from the elite African American community in Hollywood, because that's pretty much what it sounded like upon doing the research. And then she did a whole other fundraiser with elites in Hampton. So according to Bloomberg, this is how Bloomberg described it. And this is Bloomberg. Teslas and Maseratis lined the streets as Kamala Harris greeted guests sipping drinks from plastic cups with her name on them and eating cinnamon sugar donuts from Dresden's at a fundraiser hosted by movie executive Jamie Patricoff and his wife Kelly as the summer of Democratic fundraisers rolled on in East Hampton.
East Hampton. The East Hampton. I'm sorry about Spike, though.
It's okay. I know.
If you saw Crooklyn, you'd understand. If you saw Inside Man,
oh yeah,
you'd understand. If you saw Jungle Fever,
I did not see that.
If you saw Do the Right Thing with Danny Aiello, because it was so much about my father. My father was born in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and it's about a pizzeria that's in a certain neighborhood on the border, whatnot, and how, it was just about culture back in the days, the way we communicate. Spike, you done did us wrong. Mm-hmm. You done did us wrong, Spike.
He sold out.
Come on, Spike Lee.
She has another fundraiser, actually, with Jessica Alba this Thursday in Hollywood.
That was expected.
If anybody wants to, crash that fundraiser, by all means, all my activist people. And then according to a report, Jessica Alba has received her major endorsement from California, so she's already been endorsed. Harris has also been meeting with power brokers and wealthy corporate executives for her campaign. And aside from all of that, she's had all of the Hollywood elite support her. She did have a fundraiser. Here we go. Here's the picture.
Who's that?
With Katy Perry, Demi Lovato, and Ariana Grande. You may not know who.
They're all
Demi Lovato is, but
by the way.
Yeah.
BT Dubs, 86 won't listen to your music because you got poor taste.
Here's what I want to say about that, you guys. It's time you literally start boycotting these people, because they're literally laughing in your face. They're telling you, let them eat cake. They're telling you, we don't care. They are so warped in their own little world that they have deluded themselves into thinking they're good little liberals by voting for this freaking neoliberal piece of crap candidate that Kamala Harris is.
The worst candidate.
Like literally one of the worst candidates. I would say Joe Biden is probably they're pretty freaking up there. And so stop watching their movies, stop buying their music, stop listening to it. Start going to them and saying, why do you support these people? Look what they've done. Why do you continue to support these people? You need to, especially like here in California, in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, like, believe me, like, no. F these people, man.
They're groomed, too. People. This is all the grooming we talked about, because they get these people at a young age, and they tell them, listen, hey, we need to get money. These people are going to support your projects, or your next big film, or your next TV show. So guess what you do? You're already groomed to play ball. The Hollywood elites are tied into it. The Hollywood elites, they're tied all into it. And this is a perfect example. They're told what to do. Spike Lee was told what to do, and they're doing it. They're playing ball. And by the way, if you want to get some good independent music or some some really good music. Right over to the Convo couch. Johnny Tsunami can make some suggestions. The hell with Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, and Katy Perry. Katy Perry, wow, very disappointing. I know why Russell Brand dumped you.
Yeah, Russell Brand's actually pretty woke.
He's
He has a
awesome.
great YouTube channel.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to start listening to more.
Glad
of
you
it.
got away from that one. Please.
He got away from all of it. I have to be honest.
He's
yeah.
amazing. Russell Brand. Russell. Go ahead. What else we got?
So Kamala Harris. Here's
Sorry.
the funny part. She said she wasn't going to go to the climate crisis town hall on September 4th because she was going to go attend a big downtown LA fundraiser on that same day. And Common Dreams called her out. Sunrise Movement called her out awfully. They said, yikes, Kamala Harris is skipping out on the first ever presidential climate forum to schmooze with big donors. Debating our generation's survival isn't optional. We need a leader who prioritizes the future of humanity over rubbing elbows with millionaires and billionaires. Ow! And, well, she changed her mind. She changed her mind after people decided that they were just trashing her, and her campaign staff was probably like, it might be a little bit more important for you to attend. So she changed her mind. But literally, that's even worse, because what it shows is her flip-flopping yet again in order to get her, to get whatever sense of credibility that she has left, which is very little after Tulsi slammed her. And I just put this meme of here.
What did I tell y'all?
Tulsi saying, what did I tell y'all?
They should have you there on the couch going, what did I tell y'all?
What?
Because you've been telling people a long time about Kamala. This lady has a long, long record. She does not deserve to be president. And I heard there was a little beef going on. What else we got over there? Let's get to the good part. Let's get to the juicy
Other than the beef yesterday going on in California, there was an awesome beef going on with Sister Neera Turner. And I love Neera Turner when she speaks. Neera Turner had an amazing showdown with none other than your favorite.
Neera Tanden.
Yep. Neera. So Neera decided, of course, to once again, like every neoliberal does in unison, come after Susan Sarandon. They've been going after this poor woman.
When all else fails.
You know what's funny?
Susan or Russia.
Susan Sarandon caused everything, and you're seeing the other neoliberals, the actors, right, who are supporting the establishment. Susan Sarandon is like one of few actors who's actually stood on the front lines with activists and stood for Bernie and campaigned for Bernie, and look what they do to her. That can't be denied. That cannot be denied. So she said, news like this has become commonplace, and every once in a while, I just want to thank Susan Sarandon for her campaigning.
Jeez.
Not just voting third party. Instead of working to stop Trump, she helped him. Oh, okay. So Neera Turner said, you have some nerve, Neera Tanden. It's your area of expertise to start mess. Last time I checked, this is America, and folks have a right to vote for who that they want. Get off, Susan Sarandon. She does not answer to you. So Neera Tanden then goes, thanks, Neera Turner, for reminding people that you voted for Jill Stein in 2016. You and Susan Sarandon both. You didn't vote for the person who could beat Trump. You helped him win by voting third party in a swing state.
And Neera says...
You want to read this one?
No, go ahead.
Oh, you don't know who the hell I voted for. Don't bring it here, Neera Tanden. You don't want to do this dance. It's because of mean, hateful neoliberals like you that we have Trump in the White House.
Own your shit.
Don't ever come for me. I only had one mama, and she's dead.
Boom.
Damn.
I like the fact that she calls out the neoliberals.
I
baby.
know. That was my favorite part.
Neoliberals.
Because we have some hoity-toity people in the California Democratic Party
Hoity-toity.
who are like, don't use the word neoliberal. If you use it, word neoliberal, you're not credible. You're just not helping. You're not building coalitions.
They're not
like,
super
I'm gonna
delegates.
clutch
They're
my pearls.
pleos. They always show that double language. One subject or another. Call it like it is.
Yeah.
Stop your tone policing and get down to brass tacks, baby.
If the shoe fits, the shoe fits.
Wear it.
And yeah, exactly. And I mean, she just said it like it was. And then Neera said, I didn't tweet at you. You tweeted at me. I'm just responding to your tweet. Here's your statement refusing to back the Dem nominee days before the 2016 election. And she said, maybe you did not hear me the first time. That's okay. I'll repeat it for you, Neera Tanden. 1, you don't get to tell me what to do, think, or say. Just in case you were not aware, I am a free black woman. 2, I welcome the rolling of the tape. 3, refer back to 1. And,
Boom.
And she was done. She was like, boom. And that was amazing, because what that says is that we clearly have a divide in the Democratic Party. I mean, a lot of us progressives know that, but to the general public, they're really not aware as to, or the Republicans, that they all lump us in together. Like, we're not. Like, progressives and independents, we hate these establishment Democrats just as much, if not more than the Republicans hate them, or than we hate the Republicans. And I frankly, I can't choose, because I think they're both freaking god awful. But right now, our biggest enemy are the Democratic Party. They are the ones that we have to fight now to get someone like a Bernie or a Tulsi in there. Because look what they're doing to Tulsi still with the polls.
Yep.
Tom Steyer is already only one poll away from qualifying.
Yeah. Well, we should give credit what credit is due. And the reason why I dislike the neoliberals worse than the Republicans is because the Republicans didn't cheat us. The neoliberals did. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who handed us Trump. They're the ones, in my opinion, that are the worst type of enemy, because they're the ones that are acting like we're on the same side. And we really are not.
They're backstabbers.
They're very, very backstabbers.
At least the Republicans are assholes up front.
They own their shit.
It's like, we don't like these people coming in. We don't like it. Okay, I get it. If you're an asshole to me up front, okay, I don't like you. That's fine. But if you're gonna pretend to be my friend and then stab me in the back, I think that's much worse in a way. So
it is much worse. Yeah. It is much worse because the Republicans are destructive in their own ideology. Don't get me wrong; I don't believe in most of their ideology whatsoever. But the Democrats, the establishment Democrats, and the neolibs, they're sneaky in their ideology. They front as one thing, and they're actually something else. And they actually try to convince themselves, whether we be sitting in a hearing for Maria Estrada's ADEM, where they actually they'll own cheating, and they actually make it right in their own mind. They'll do so much mental gymnastics, it's disgusting, and we have to watch out for this stuff. And really, to tell you the truth, the biggest divide that still bothers me is the divide with Bernie Sanders people who are really trying to put a wedge between Tulsi Gabbard's and Bernie Sanders people. It's just disgusting. And one of the persons you mentioned yesterday actually had a little Facebook post up and said, why do we like her again? And here's something else to factor in. The establishment Democrats and their followers, the neoliberals, the centrists, and all those little KDM people, they know shit. They know shinola about foreign policy.
Nothing.
They're terrible about it. And really, it's one of our biggest issues because that's where half of our money goes.
Absolutely.
Right there. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is even talking about, hey, listen, we don't have to raise taxes that much if we cut back spending on the military, if we cut back spending on the military-industrial complex and stop feeding that machine, we'll have other dollars to spend elsewhere. And also, a great thing about Bernie Sanders is he understands MMT and the way the money works, so he understands about how to pay for things. But I hate the fact that we're always on this conversation of how are you going to pay for it. We have to get off that.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the next. Do you have anything else to add about Kamala Harris before we get to the next point?
No, just a reminder as to, just think about this. Kamala Harris is over there being propped up by the elites in Hollywood and all these people. And Tulsi Gabbard exposed her, and look at what they're doing to Tulsi Gabbard after she did that. This is all connected. Let's not. Things don't have to be literally written out verbatim for us to make the connections. I mean, it is what it is. They are doing this against her because she is a threat, and having her there is a threat. And I would advise her, even if she doesn't make this debates, to actually continue, because you know what? That will only make her more popular. Yeah. I honestly think that this makes her more popular because they're literally trashing her. And what happened in 2016, Bernie Sanders is happening now with Tulsi too. It's not just Bernie that they're smearing her.
Yeah. Oh, they're smearing her worse because they're smearing her in a different way.
Well, she has less leverage.
There's somebody who said on the thread, Jeff Edelman, Pasta, come on, Republicans equal voter suppression. Really? Republicans only?
Oh.
Really? Let me tell you something. There was collusion in 2016.
Yeah.
It's called the Democratic Party. You want to talk about voter suppression on the right only?
I agree. They do it on the right, but they also do it on the left. And I was a witness to that here in California, and so were many of my friends who were purposely given the wrong ballot, whose ballot, or who were unregistered freely, and they're trying to do it again. That's why we're trying to get in front of this, attending meetings about how the process is going to work. Because we're not kidding ourselves. Like, we expect shenanigans to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not because we're conspiracy theorists. It is because they've happened in the past. And denying that is a form of insanity now. It's been happening time and time again. And the Democrats only blame foreign countries instead of looking at themselves to fix a problem.
It's just a red herring because they don't want to look at themselves. Because you know what, fam? Next topic. Johnny, do you want to do anything before we get on to the next topic? We'll do shout-outs at the end, or you want to do them on Facebook right now? You do Facebook, I'll do YouTube. Really quick, while he's getting everything going, we have some people out there. Michael Cruz, MMT.
What's up, Michael?
He loves it when you talk about MMT, and we love it when you cue the duck, Michael.
Onion Man 77.
There he is. Becky Cyphers. Harriet Garr. We have Learned Hand, always Learned Hand hanging on out. Dylan Resnick, Kathy Lloyd. Who else we have over here? I love you guys. Leo Hernandez, you guys make some great stuff. Jeff Adelman, we'll talk about this next subject over here. SSA0 is there. And Ed Moran with Gamer for Life and Bradford Dup Lucia and Tim Flowbug. Who do you got on the Facebook? Is Unky hanging out over there?
I got Mikey U. Nate Guzek, Gabriel Ramirez.
Hey, Gabriel.
What up, Gabriel?
Rocky Bellinger.
Rocky
of
B.
course.
Rocky, solidarity. Thanks for your support yesterday.
Yes.
Maria Estrada joined at one point.
We love you, Maria.
Valerie Flanagan.
She's
Eric
awesome.
Flores. Dolores Pierce.
And I saw somebody up all the way on
Adam
the top
Miezo.
over there. One more person. One of the first people to join in we know there. Who's that?
That was Fiorella.
Never mind.
Congratulations.
Well, thank
Fiorella.
you to all those people out there as well. And let's talk about some voter suppression. Let's talk about what happened, really. We never talk about Cambridge Analytica, what they really did, the boomerang effect. There is fascism going on the left, fam, and it's going on hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And that fascism comes in the form of suppressing your voice. That is a form of fascism.
Yeah.
When you tell people what they can and cannot say, and it's not considered hate speech, you are then carving out a narrative that is fit for your establishment only. Okay? So what had happened earlier this week, and I know we've been going over so much stuff, is that we have a whistleblower from Google coming out. His name is Zach Voorhees, and he went to this particular group that considers himself a right-wing libertarian group that actually had a chance to go speak to Donald Trump about the suppression of Google and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and what they're doing. Now, he was an employee over at Google. And we're going to go to his little Twitter little thing he has over here. His name is Zach Voorhees. And he went to the Veritas group to show what Google is doing to create their own narrative. And what they're doing is a form of fascism, and they're suppressing people's voice. Take a look.
When you sat down with me last time on the story that we released on June 24th, you were disguised. You were in the shadows. Right now, there's no disguise.
I felt that our entire election system was going to be compromised forever by this company that told the American public that it was not going to do any evil. This is the best thing that I can do in the situation that I'm currently at. And the thing is that the American public needs to understand what's happening. I'm going to, publish this information so that other people can see the system that Google has built in order to control the entire information landscape. This is something that once people see, it's going to bring, it doesn't matter whether you're left or whether you're right. When you see this, both sides are going to agree that this is wrong. So my message to those that are on the fence is I've released the documents. They can go and they can see everything that Google is doing. And then they can see the scale of it. Because I think that there's a lot of engineers that have a hint that things are wrong, but they don't understand the colossal scale that it's at. And so for those people, I say, look at the documents. Like take the pulse of Americans, see what's happening. And come and tell the world, what you already know to be true. And I know that people have been waiting for, this Google Snowden moment where somebody comes out and explains what everybody already knows to be true. And I'm hoping that those that want to do something are going to be compelled to act, and that we together can come together and defend ourselves in the case of litigation. They can stop like one or two of us, but they can't stop all of us coming out and explaining to the American public that this is what's happening, that Google is not who they say they are. You're gonna be a hero. It's gonna be fine. Clear your conscience. You'll be able to live with that for the rest of your life, that you did the right thing.
Zach Voorhees, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, who came forth, Google employer. He gets about, with his stock, I think they said $260,000 a year, Johnny. I mean, we watched a whole, you can go over there too, and the Veritas Project. They have other whistleblowers that come up here, but he released a ton of documents, fam. and just showing what's going on. And if you're curious about what happened to Tulsi Gabbard, why she's suing them for $50 million, we're going to kind of explain that, and we're going to explain the little trickeries and the things they do, and it's happening to us on this network right here. In fact, tomorrow we are going to be eligible to reapply for monetization. Now, we want monetization for one reason more than anything, that we want to have our super chat to be able to talk to people, and if people want to send us a donation, they can do so right there and then, and we can answer their question. We don't even really care so much about the advertising. However, we don't want anybody else making advertising off of our content and then just saying we can't pay you because your content is not suitable for advertising. Yeah,
that's what they're doing now.
And it's a form of suppression. And the reason, here's the thing too, when we asked the first time why we didn't get monetization, you're never given an answer straight up, fam. They say it's the algorithm, but there's a person programming those algorithms. And what it is it's set up with all little time bombs and all little gadgets that only certain people who know, which are Democratic establishment loyalists, like the people who run Google, who own Google, who are involved in Google. They are establishment friendly AF. In fact, you can see their evidence by the way they take Clinton out of the Epstein Lolita page, but still leave Donald Trump in there. You know, and they've been proven, they've been confronted, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the first thing they do is right after this data dump comes out, the man who was interviewing Zach Voorhees has this thing called the Veritas Project, and his name is James O'Keefe. So what do? They do the first thing they do, and it's part of the playbook, smear, right, fam? Let's smear them. James O'Keefe is a whistleblower who loves QAnon and accused Zionists of running the government. So regardless of the information, fam, what do? They smear the person. Can you give me a little analogy and an explanation that why we should still listen to the person rather than the smears instead? Or I can't explain it because maybe the person isn't great, but the information he has is helpful and is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to be able to separate what, what a person's personal belief is and as to what the information they're presenting. Just because, for instance, Tulsi Gabbard met with Assad in an effort to achieve peace doesn't mean that she's somehow with Assad. Just because she has done things to meet with adversaries doesn't mean that that's not a good thing. That's a good thing. Just because Donald Trump is someone you hate and don't like I don't like him, and he met with Kim Jong-un doesn't mean that's not a good thing, because we're trying to avoid war here. We're trying to avoid nuclear war. It's this idea that we can't think for ourselves and we compartmentalize everything, and we need to be able to separate these things, because otherwise we're just literally following their little narrative.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if he believes in QAnon. I mean, I don't believe in QAnon at all. But like I said, I'm willing to look at things. I'm willing to be open-minded and read things. And I think the reality is a lot of the information out there falls somewhere in the middle. A lot of the stuff that you hear on the mainstream media is equally as invalid as some of the things that you hear on the right-wing sort of media. Yeah. Like, it's not just one or the other.
Yeah, and I think people get so tribal and stuff. And here's the problem, though, is that, and I don't want to get into this deeply, but he did kind of lump in progressive liberal values of what's going on, because the majority of people getting suppressed out there and getting their voice silenced or getting thrown out of the queue or getting these time bombs against them are libertarian to right-wing shows or websites or right. YouTube channels. However, there's a small bit of us that are on the left, if you want to still call us on the left, I don't even care anymore, really, that are progressive and are anti-establishment, and they also want to silence our voice as well. So they just want to put forth their narratives. Let's take a little examples of the data dump. There was somebody who brought some stuff up on YouTube. She has a little Twitter, and she kind of named out 8 examples. So let's go and put the Twitter up real quick. Here's example number 1. Okay, let me see. So, Johnny, can you read that? Because it's too far away and there's a glare for me to read, and I'll kind of break down what's going on.
All right, so number 1, from Rosie Memos, searching through at Project Veritas, hashtag Google exposed document dump in no particular order. According to the powers that be internally, a woman talking about rape in Germany by refugees was flagged for hateful content and put in the penalty box. Okay. Hashtag me too.
Now you see over on the left-hand side. Now listen, fam, this reminds me of the other day we went to Azusa, right? And we saw a lot of people who were against the moving and displacement of 300 homeless people by a riverbed because they want to do a cleanup. We also heard from some people, so the fact the first lady who went up there and talked that she can't run with her dog and the place has become bad and it's a threat and it's dangerous. Pretty much what she was saying also in her mindset was like, hey, listen, these homeless people by my house is lowering my property value. You know, you might not agree with the sentiment, whatnot, but she has every right to go up there and say that, correct? Didn't you have a situation in Korea where people were attacking somebody for expressing their freedom of speech?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to listen to some of the things these people say, but they have a right to say them.
Exactly.
I'm a homelessness and housing activist. Like I go to these things all the time. I sit there and I protest. That doesn't mean that as much as I dislike them and as much as I'm like, ugh, like these people are horrible, that I should shut their voice down. And that's the problem with a lot of the left is they have this like reactionary attitude to, we only want to hear our echo chamber stuff we don't agree with, we only agree with. And like the problem with that is you start getting deeper and deeper into that echo chamber where you completely are unable to even see someone that's not even on the other side, but that is a little bit more of an independent thinker, and then you smear them just because they don't agree with your point of view. And that's a very dangerous and fascist way of conducting things, and that's on the left. And so it's not only the right doing the fascism, it is both the left and the right.
And I think, once again, the left is really, really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the right fascism comes from economic unrest. I can't have any resources for my family, so I'm going to blame somebody who doesn't look like me.
It's selfishness, too.
Ignorance.
It's individualism.
Ignorance.
Yeah.
It's ignorance. Programming. We might, a lot of these people.
Yeah, but
I feel bad for a lot of these
still.
kids who were programmed to be racist, whatnot, and were programmed to think that people that look different than them are different than them. That's a lot of the way the parents taught them to as well, and we need to unprogram. We need to set a new mark going forward. But, yeah, I mean, whatever the case may be, they have the right to say it, is what I'm trying to say. Unless it's like kind of telling people to do dangerous things. Now, here's number 2. This is a cool one because this is kind of like what Cambridge Analytica talked about. What it is that they understand. They got the keys to the kingdom, right? So they can understand everything that's coming in right here. They would show that people are being programmed. So in other words, they would locate the persuadables. They would locate what people think, what information comes in front of them. So people are programmed, and they use the media, and they filter out all this stuff and they put it out to people. Then algorithms are programmed to keep the information of those people, what they are and what ticks them off in front of them. And then training data is harvest. So they're taking all the data from the people. So in other words, Google is using the information that from you and what you like and what spurs you. In other words, they'll have the whole keys. They'll be like, okay, anti-establishment or Tanya Singh really spurs Fiorella Isabel. So let's control the information that goes back to her. So therefore, we're actually programming, and they do it with like the more of the weak-minded or the uneducated or the low-informed people, where they can really take the information and what ticks them off and use it against them. We saw this with Cambridge Analytica. The first thing they do is they locate. These are the persuadables. These are the set of people that could be persuaded. Let's hit them with algorithms. Let's hit them with programs. And let's keep the information that they're searching for out of the algorithm, out of the queue so they can't find it. Let's bury the CONVO couch in Epstein because we don't want people really finding out what's what, because all these media moguls are tied to these things. And we'll show you that later. Yeah. Number 4, really quickly, which is it's just once again, it says less fringy. About 20 people at Google are deciding what you see and what you search, including history denial. How come they never block Russia stories? The Russiagate stories came in the queue left and right. But all the denial stories, they threw them out. And this is what we talk about Russiagate. This was the most dangerous thing about Russiagate. Now people in Silicon Valley, Google, you got 20 people deciding what is freedom of speech or not.
So they removed the Gulag GIFs from Facebook.
Right?
They literally removed them because I think Jacqueline Lawrence was like, damn it, they removed the Gulag GIFs. And I was like trying to find it. I'm like, damn, she's right. Yep. I had to go online outside of Facebook to find a Gulag picture. But they don't even let you post the GIFs. I mean, look, I get it. Like, okay, you don't, Gulags aren't something. But like, you're literally controlling like something that doesn't need to be censored. You're censoring things to an extreme. And fascist book is just that, and we're streaming on it right now. But
well, pretty much that was the only ones I really wanted to see. There's another one, it says number 5. They kind of put you into different types of categories. They label you. There's all this stuff. And really go. Rosie memes is just one little thing that kind of cherry picked.
The one I want to emphasize is the one we just looked at. Is that one guy is in charge. This guy Paul his mission is to come up with a less fringy search. That's what his mission is.
Wow.
Less fringy. Guess who's considered the Convo Couch fringy? Tube.
Yeah.
We're fringy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny, thanks for pointing that out. One person down there. And we said this, Russiagate, now they're just deciding what freedom of speech is.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. And I hope all this was worth it, because did you really put a dent in Trump's armor? No. You strengthened his armor.
You
made
strengthened
him
it.
the victim.
Yep.
You made him the victim.
You make his base. The Democrats, the neoliberals, not all the Democrats, but the majority of them, save maybe a handful, are making Donald Trump's reelection far more easier than it's
it
ever
should be.
been.
Than it should be.
And it's really scary. It's really shitty, because then people are going to be stuck between, again, the lesser of evils. And I think people are done with
This
that.
Democratic
They're
Party is a
freaking done.
joke.
If what I was talking
Joke.
about yesterday, the whole vote blue no matter who bullshit, like, we're done with that. We're not doing that anymore. You can't take me and weaponize gender and race to say that you care about kids in cages when Erin Matei posted to Deborah Messing today, because she's only under Trump did we have kids in cages. No, you had it under Obama too. You just weren't paying attention. A lot of us weren't. And to be fair, like I said on the video, I voted for Obama. So did he. And the thing is,
Twice.
the thing is, like, we realized something through Bernie Sanders and some people before then, but we started seeing Occupy Wall Street and then Bernie Sanders, and all of that made us realize, like, hey, these Democrats are actually doing nothing for the working people. They're doing nothing for people of color. They're just using us to say that they're the working people's party, but they haven't done a goddamn thing. And you know what? Like, we're done with it. So you don't get to weaponize that and use it against people who are saying, no, we're not going to take it anymore. We're Bernie or bust, or we're Tulsi or bust, or we're a progressive or bust, and make this about blue no matter who, when the blue has screwed us over so many freaking times.
Well, here's another little thing, fam. Let's talk about it. It's so on point, man. So on point, because I can't deal with this Democratic Party anymore. It just makes me think, like, why, Bernie? Why did you have to go join the Democratic Party again? Why don't you just leave them and start a third party? Well, he has the right to do that. I'm not going to argue. He's been doing what he's been doing for 40 years. You know what? This time around, symbolically, as a third party, I think it would have been a different situation. Listen, I'm not questioning his decisions. I'm just kind of, stressing my feelings for the Democratic Party that I cannot stand. There's such a bunch of phonies and fakes, and this pushing this blue no matter who bullshit is so bad. Let's go to the letter from Tulsi, the open letter to Tulsi, because Tulsi's away on deployment. But it says here, thank you for reaching out to us yesterday. Together, I believe we have a novel opportunity to bring honesty and transparency to a significant threat to our democratic process. Tulsi Gabbard's email account went down right after the Democratic debate, and I believe I can provide assistance on where to focus your discovery efforts, because I saw how other accounts, such as Jordan B. Peterson, were taken down. I'm going to recount how this happened to him so as to assist you in your legal discovery process. So right about, I want to say big ups to the Tulsi Gabbard campaign. V, sister, who's the campaign manager, or one of them, or one of the assistants, whoever reached out to this gentleman, so important, because he has the keys to the case. He understands how Tulsi Gabbard got suppressed. Remember, it was right after the first debate. She was the most searched Google candidate, and it was a very precious time for her to go out there, advertise, spend some money, get some stuff over there, get people over there to discover who Tulsi Gabbard is, and they shut down her account. Now, the whole thing about it is, fam, is what they do is they say it's the algorithm, and they hide behind this algorithm, because this algorithm is programmed by somebody, and it pretty much explains right here. Do you want to read? Do you want me to read?
No, you read.
During my tenure, Jordan B. Peterson had his Gmail account deactivated, and I had an opportunity to inspect the bug report as a full-time employee. What I found was that Google had a technical vulnerability that, when exploited, would take any Gmail account down. Certain unknown to third-party actors are aware of this secret vulnerability and to exploit it. So in other words, they give the key, the recipe on how to build a bomb on Google to a third party. So in other words, somebody within the DNC that wanted to suppress anybody could use this trick. Okay? This is how it worked. Target all the email addresses. Change exactly one letter in that email address. Then create a new account with that changed email address. Malicious actors repeated this process over and over again until a network of spoof accounts for Jordan B. Peterson existed. Then these spoof accounts are started generating spam emails. These email spam blasts caught the attention of an AI system which fixed the problem by deactivating the spam accounts and then also the original account belonging to Jordan B. Peterson. So a third actor came in there, mimicked the same thing to Tulsi Gabbard, mimicked the same thing to Tulsi Gabbard, mimicked the same thing to Tulsi Gabbard. So boom, the AI system and the algorithm that was programmed by a human being would then shut down Tulsi Gabbard's account and suspend it.
So basically, yeah. So if Tulsi Gabbard's Gmail was tulsigabbard@gmail.com, they would do a bunch of email accounts. It'd be like tulsigabbard1@gmail.com,
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard A, or
Or
B,
change
or,
it, take one of the B's out, or
take one of the B's, put
Yeah.
an E instead or something, and then it would create, I don't know how many of these accounts it takes for the AI to recognize that. Once they start doing the spam emails to everybody, how everyone gets random spam emails, right?
yeah.
So then they take down everything.
He shows a little example of how to do it. He says, go inside the Google corporate network, then go to the following URL, search terms, Jordan B. Peterson. Good luck in your lawsuit. Cheers, he says. Mr. Zach Voorhees. Once again, big ups to the campaign for reaching on out. And good luck on this lawsuit, because let me tell you something. This is the biggest voice speaking up once again. I really hate the fact that TYT and other outlets said that this was just a publicity stunt. No, this is what we really need. We need somebody to step up and sue these people.
They said this was a publicity stunt?
They said, well, I think Anna said she was doing it for
Oh
camera.
my God.
What were they saying?
You know
Camera
what,
time
Anna?
or
You know
TYT
what,
was
Anna?
there.
Like, it's ridiculous, because this isn't even about Tulsi. This is about everybody in media too.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with just her personal situation. This affects everybody.
Yeah.
And to say this is a publicity stunt,
Yeah,
I mean,
and I've
that's
lost track of
ridiculous.
Emma and Anna's attacks on Tulsi because every day. I think once again, Nico was telling me that Anna said again, "Oh, you're just attacking me because you have a candidate that's totally flawed." Like they do these little passive hits and whatnot, and this was a publicity
the $20 million
stunt. and-
definitely helps out. Oh, by the way, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were at an event with Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Of course
Just
they
so,
were.
Just so everybody
Of
knows.
course they
And Jeffrey
were.
Katzenberg gave him $20 million. So
Yeah.
who do you think they're working for now?
Yeah.
Just
and
saying.
Cenk was at CAA,
Just
and now
saying.
he's not somewhere else. Yeah, they're just terrible. They're awful.
Yeah.
They took that check. Hollywood elites, get everybody in line. Spike, go out there and stomp for Kamala. Disgusting. And just to let you know, Spam, we have to start calling these people by names. Now, the ex-CEO and head of board of Google or Alphabet was Eric Schmidt. Okay? Now, he's gone, but I just want to put up here that Eric Schmidt, CEO, he left Alphabet board after 18 years. Departure follows backlash over reports of sexual misconduct and cover-ups. Lawsuits. These elites think they can do whatever they want. They can grow, touch. Anybody's out there. It's free game.
And they'll get away
Do whatever
with
you
it,
want.
too.
And you get this. Slap on the hand. Nothing. Fam, you got anything else? These people disgust me.
No, I don't. So thank you guys so much for the support. Again, Pasta and I are very, very thankful. We're growing. We're
Still got a lot of work ahead of us, right?
yeah, still a lot of work ahead, but hopefully we can be monetized soon. Hopefully we can do this full time. Hopefully the world doesn't end or break out into civil war. But we're going to be covering this whole thing all the way through. So
Yeah, there's a
it's gonna
lot of
be
stuff
a
ahead of
long
us.
journey.
It does. Tomorrow's show, let's read, first of all, I want to read, we'll close up. Johnny, you want to read Michael Cruz? You want me to read Michael Cruz? Well, let's let Fee read Michael Cruz. Here's Michael Cruz. We love you, Michael Cruz.
Thank you, Michael Cruz, for this comment. Pasta Feed, Johnny Tsunami. I had to become a patron of your channel, especially after the MMT acknowledgement from Pasta. First time I've ever done a Patreon. MMT is the reality of how our government spending works. It's how we get all of our progressive policies, and it answers the zombie neoliberal question of how are you going to pay for it? You all have such great chemistry, great energy. It's always a pleasure to join you for the live stream and engage your audience. Putting boot to neoliberal ass. No holding back. You are exactly the people I've been looking for. And thank you so much. That means so much to us, especially you saying we boot neoliberal ass. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Sue was even there. But listen, we don't hold back. And tomorrow's show, I got my little tweet up. Let me put up my tweet because we're going to be talking a little bit about this. As I told you, fam, I'm a little bit upset with Senator Sanders, his tweet, and what's really going on with Hong Kong. So we're going to dive into it because I have a little bit of knowledge of what is going on there. Let me just read this. It says, the citizens of Hong Kong have the right to protest any reason they feel fit. However, in any case whatsoever, should the NED or any other American NGO be involved in influencing financially the decisions the Chinese people so rightfully deserve to make themselves. Hashtag stop meddling, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the NED.
Are you saying the NED shouldn't be involved?
They should not be involved.
What was the NED?
The NED, I should have put shouldn't, right? See, fam?
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
The NED,
Oh my God.
they should be involved. Okay.
Yeah.
They should not be involved.
yeah,
I screwed
yeah.
up in my tweet. I'm taking it down. See, fam's got to. I was kidding. Like, they shouldn't be involved whatsoever. She hit me on and stuff like that. But that's the situation. The NED is the National Endowment for Democracy. It was created under Ronald Reagan. And what it is called the CIA Light. In other words, instead of going off and selling illegal weapons in Iran and the Contra and using them to fund the war with the Sandinistas and the Contra, what they did was they formed the NED, and they would use that to go and fund opposition protest and whatnot. And if you look at these protests going on in Hong Kong, it's very split as far as pro-government and pro-police is what they're calling it. It's an older generation in Hong Kong and a younger generation who lived through austerity measures in Britain colonized Hong Kong. So there was an actual viral video of a young supporter and an older supporter against the opposite supporters hugging and crying with each other. So
But there are millions of people protesting. So
yes, but it's on both sides.
Okay.
It's what they failed to tell you. RT is out there. It's on both sides. They're pro-government and anti-government. The anti-governments have been fueled by the NED, which is the National Endowment for Democracy. And once again, this is a CIA light. They want to cause confusion. They want to cause chaos within these other countries. And obviously, Donald Trump would seize on a moment like this. And like I said, there was a tweet out there. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to talk about the involvement. Tulsi Gabbard, at the very least, should be advising.
I think a lot of people are very divided on this issue, though. So
well, they might be divided, but in any way, shape,
think-
or form, should we be financially involving ourselves again?
No.
It stops right there. There's no argument after the fact that we're financially supporting one side and we're aiding them and we're teaching them and we're telling them what to protest. If we're not involved, then we can make a decision. But financially, throwing our government in there, once again, the NED is the biggest red flag whatsoever. And I'm going to be talking about the NED and how they've supported other groups, other oppositions in other countries. They're doing the work of the CIA, whether we like it or not. They're in contact with the CIA. They talk. They know what to do. They did it in the Ukraine. All these NGOs, we got to stop getting involved. We have to stop meddling.
I agree with that.
And you have to spell check my tweets before I put them out from now on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay me, fam.
I just want to bring up that on Instagram, Elizabeth from Super Progressives brought up a good point that she said she wants to know where all the polling places for all the all the ones that count to get you into
they don't really tell you.
Well, over here in the official Democrat DNC press release, it says each poll must be sponsored by an approved organization. Of course, they choose which organization's approved. and which presently include the following: Associated Press, ABC News, CBS News, CNN, Des Moines Register, Fox News, Monmouth University, NBC News, New York Times, NPR, Quinnipiac, University of New Hampshire, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Washington Post, and Winthrop University.
Billionaires. Corporations.
And
They are.
Candidates need 4 qualifying polls.
It's
They're
terrible.
not going to
4
put
different ones.
progressives
4 different
there.
ones. Now, mind you, Tulsi Gabbard's gotten over 2% in like 24 polls, but they're not democratic.
Yeah. Like
You know,
I
they're
said,
not
Tom
approved.
Steyer is
They're
only
not
one
approved.
away.
Yeah.
Billionaire Tom Steyer bought himself in with the donor amounts because he's a billionaire. Why are we even letting billionaires run for president? I feel like that should be like a disqualifying thing. You're a billionaire, you're not allowed to run for president.
Publicly funded elections would do that. You can only what the money comes in for publicly funded elections.
Absolutely.
That means they have to debate. They can't get extra airtime. The networks can't play favorites and have Kamala Harris on all the time and praise her and stuff. So let me talk about the last couple patrons. I want to do some shout outs before they leave. Brandon Smith is our newest Patreon just today.
Thank you, Brandon.
At 2 o'clock today, we had less than 23,000. So, Ungi, you didn't hit your mark. Nice try, Ungi. Ungi said we would have 25,000 by the time this show ended. We came close, Ungi, but no cigar. We also have Michael Cruz, our newest one. We read his comment. Thank you, Michael Cruz. And our boy, Todd Jones. Love Todd
Sup,
Jones.
Todd?
Jackie McCaffrey and Stefan Fiedler are our last 5 patrons. Just
Thank
want to
you guys
mention
so
you.
much.
Thank you so
I
much.
gotta go.
We got to get out of here. For Pasta Jardula,
And Fiorella Isabel.
Johnny Sue on the 1s and 2.
Combo out.
Like, share, subscribe.